Hey everyone, it's Sonia from Blackstone Designs here to teach you how to make the mini treat baskets. I am using I Love This Cotton in the color Deep Teal. I'm also using a G 4.0 millimeter crochet hook. In addition, you will need a pair of scissors and a yarn needle. To start, we need to make a magic ring, also known as an adjustable ring. And then we will chain 1 and 6 single crochet inside the ring. And that is round 1. For round 2, we will 2 single crochet in each stitch around. And at this point, I like to close my ring, and then I put a knot in there so that that can't come back open. So we just slowly bring it down to the center and then tighten the knot, and we're good to go. Then I'll bring the string up and I will work over it to weave it in. So for round 3, we're going to work 2 single crochet here, then 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next, all the way around until we have 18 stitches. Okay, and then round 4, it's 2 single crochet, then 1 single crochet over the next 2, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet over the next 2, till we reach 24 stitches. Okay, now onto the last round of the bottom. We will 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the next 3, 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next 3, all the way around until we have 30 single crochet. At the end of round 5, we will place a 1 slip stitch in the next stitch, and that just helps even out the height of the round. Now we will start forked clusters. So we're going to chain 1. Now, if you're not familiar with the forked cluster stitch, I do have a video for that, and I will link it in the description below, but I will give you a quick overview of how we work that. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, drop a loop. So we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, insert hook into the next unworked stitch, yarn over, drop a loop. Now we have 5 on our hook, yarn over, draw through the first 3 loops only, and then yarn over, draw through the next 3 loops. And that's a forked cluster. For the second one and all subsequent forked clusters, we start the stitch in the same space the previous forked cluster ended, and then we finish it in the next unworked stitch. So yarn over, insert a hook into that previous stitch, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, insert hook into the next unworked stitch, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, draw through 3, yarn over, draw through 3. And we'll do that all the way around to the last stitch. Okay, so now we are at the last stitch. So yarn over, insert into previous stitch, yarn over, insert into next unworked stitch. But from here, we have to join the round. And if you actually count your stitches, at this point, you only have 29 forked clusters, and we need 30. So what we do is we yarn over, insert our hook into the previous stitch, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, insert our hook into the space where that first forked cluster started, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, draw through 3, yarn over, draw through 3. Then we will slip stitch to join in the top of that first forked cluster. And moving on to round 7, we will single crochet in each stitch around for a total of 30 single crochets. Okay, and to start the next row, I like to do a chain 1 and draw up a long loop. That's how I like to start my forked cluster rounds for this pattern in particular. You can do a chain 2 if you're more comfortable with that. I just think a long chain 1 is a little bit easier to hide in the seam line. So from this point, we're going to repeat rows 6 and 7 2 more times. Okay, and that is the end of round 11. So for round 12, we're going to decrease back down to 24 stitches. I like to do this with invisible decreases. I think it helps things look a little more uniform. So if you don't know how to do that, I'll show you how to do it quickly. You will insert your hook up under the front loop only of the first stitch. Then you will kind of twist your hook down so you can come up under the front loop only of the second stitch, yarn over and draw through both of those front loops only. Now you have 2 loops, and we will complete a single crochet as normal. And that is an invisible decrease. So let me show you that one more time. You will insert your hook up under the front loop only of the first stitch. That's going to be a part of the decrease. Then you will twist the hook down so you can come up underneath the front loop only of the second stitch. That's part of the decrease. Then you will yarn over and draw through both of those front loops. Then you will make a single crochet. So for round 12, we will do a decrease and then 1 single crochet over the next 3 stitches all the way around until we have only 24 stitches left. For the last round, we don't need to do a slip stitch. We'll just do an invisible join. So we've clipped the yarn. We're going to pull that tail right out through the center of that stitch, like this. We're going to bring it over to the next stitch, insert our hook from front to back, and pull that tail in through the back, like that. Then we will insert our hook into that previous single crochet, the back loop only, starting up underneath and coming out through the center of that stitch. Then we'll grab that tail and bring it down in. Then as you can see, it just makes it look like it's one of the stitches. And then we can go ahead and weave that in. You can thread the needle, of course, it'll be easier to really tuck the tail away. But as a time saver for this video, I'm just gonna grab it and pull it down through. All right, and there we have our little basket base. So we're gonna set that aside for a minute, and we're gonna go ahead and make the handle. For the handle, we're going to chain 21. Then I like to flip the chain over so that I can work into the back bumps only. So that's the top of the chain and this is the back. And you have all these little bumps. I like to work across those because it keeps even edges on both sides. So working in the second chain from hook and across, we will single crochet in each chain. And that will give us 20 total single crochets. Okay, and then for rows 2 and 3, we will chain 1, turn, and single crochet back across, fastening at the end of row 3. Okay, fasten that off. Then we will thread our needle, or you can use your hot glue gun, and we are going to sew this on. So I like to start over the seam so I can make that as a side of the basket opposed to the front or back. That way it kind of hides it a little more. As you can see with the forked cluster, it really helps us to hide that seam anyway. You can see a little bit of a disruption in the pattern, but for the most part, it's pretty good. But I still like to use that side just to keep it out of sight a little more. So what we're going to do is attach just the end stitches, that one stitch on the end of each row. And we're going to sew that or attach that to round 12 on the basket. So we're going to do it from the inside, attach the handle to the inside. So we will insert our needle into that first stitch, and then we will bring it out to the front of round 12. Then cross over to the next stitch on the front of round 12 and in through the bottom of that handle. Then cross over here and bring it up through the front again. Then I will bring it back in. So I'll just cross over to that next stitch so we can make sure it's on the back side. And then we can further fasten this down if you're sewing. Now, typically I use a hot glue gun myself, but I can't find my battery charger. But it's good to show you guys how to sew anyway. So we'll bring that down in and we'll just weave the tail in through both the basket and the handle. This will help secure the handle and also weave in the tail at the same time. Then normally I would also weave that tail, but for now, I'm just going to tuck it inside the basket. For the other side of the handle, we do want to make sure that the basket is pretty fluffed and rounded so we can evenly find where the opposite side of the basket is. And we're going to want to use the same method, sewing just those bottom stitches, the end of the rows, to round 12 from the inside. Of course, we don't have a yarn tail already there for us, so we will have to cut one. All right, go ahead and thread the needle. Make sure we're evenly on the other side. Then we can insert from the back through to the front. Then front to back. And then back to front. And then we will go make sure we're ending on the back side so we can weave the tail and further secure. Now again, with that other tail, I would also weave that, but I'm not going to do that at this moment. So now we have a basket. Then you can take some Easter grass, stuff that down in there. You can leave some poking out so it really looks like grass. Then you can take your little candies and put those inside, or whatever treats you prefer. You could also put non-food items in these, such as stickers. And these can also be used for more than just Easter. It just happens to be springtime and Easter's right around the corner for us. So that's my intent for these, but they would also make really cute party favors for birthdays, weddings. I could see these at Halloween. So there's a lot of things these could be used for. You could also leave the handle off and use it for air plants or other small pots. And that's your mini treat basket. I hope you love this pattern, and I can't wait to see what you make. Happy crocheting!